indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And it's great.
Bring it up.
I'll share.
Alderman Lancaster,
Present.
Alderman Wilson is not here. Alderman Hill is not here. Alderman King,
Present.
Alderman W, present. Alderman Swatch,
Present.
and Mayor Smith. Mayor, we have a quorum.
All right, item number 2, has everybody had a chance to look over the agenda? If so, can I get a motion to approve?
Just to kind of give you a heads up on one item on 3B, we added some additional invoices in there. One related to 100 Hunt Road. The contractor needed help up front to begin work. It is money we've budgeted for this year for that project. So since we're adding that, we also added 2 other invoices that are coming as well. And you'll see those at the end of 3B.
I can motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Are you giving a second? Sure, okay. All right, we have a first and a second. Alderman Lancaster
Yes.
and Alderman King,
Yes.
Alderman Billiard, yes, and Alderman Swatch.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you guys want to take a few minutes to look at the addition with questions, both of items 3A and B. If you have any questions on any of those, let us know. If not, I'll have a motion.
Are we any closer to getting our own inspector? Or still contracting it out to use? Are we looking at getting our own or,
We're looking at all options right now.
okay,
Yeah.
I would say right now, it would probably save them more by contracting. And full time. Inspections prior, we'll certainly see more of that to full time.
Yeah, we're looking at number of inspections and frequency and everything like that to see if it crosses the line of cost versus need.
This is where we pretty much us talking about what's such a spending.
I believe I could vote one.
It'd be great. Anybody have any questions on the consent agenda? I can get a motion there.
I'll make a motion that we accept item 3B, or item 3, sorry.
A second. Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Lancaster,
Yes.
Alderman King,
Yes.
Alderman Miller. Yes. Alderman Swabash.
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 4, current outstanding invoices, drafts and check paying invoices for June 24. Review those, have those questions?
I'd make a motion that we go ahead and approve the outstanding invoices, drafts, and check paid invoices. We have a first and a second. Alderman Lancaster,
Yes.
Alderman King,
Yes.
Alderman Miller. Yes. And Alderman Swabash.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, item number 5, citizen input. Anybody would like to step up and provide any comments? Please do so. State your name and your address. Being done. Well, section 5. All right, item number 6, approve appointments to the Board of Adjustments for Debbie, help me in last name pronunciation. Irick, okay, and Colby Brooks. I don't see Colby anywhere. Mike, have you talked to Colby?
I have not. But, we've been in contact by email. I haven't personally contacted.
Okay. You have any input or anything you want to?
No, I'm, super excited for any public input on any board. And having two that are willing and qualified to serve on the Board of Adjustments, is exciting. We don't get a lot of, traction in the Board of Adjustments, but they are important. It is an important board. It does serve a purpose, so we're really excited to have two, people all right after.
Couldn't agree more. You guys have any questions?
Does that put you at fully staffed?
That'll put us at 5. We can have up to 3 alternates. So, but we're happy to be at 5.
Thank you. Motion to approve the appointments to the Board of Adjustments.
I'll second that.
Yes, we have a first and a second. Alderman Lancaster,
Yes.
Alderman King,
Yes.
Alderman Miller. Yes. And Alderman Swabash.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 7, approve appointment to the Park Advisory Board. Vanessa King. Thank you. If there are any questions or concerns, talk about it. If not, we'll get a motion.
Regarding this one, David would need to abstain from the vote because of that relationship.
And with his abstention, how will that affect the form since we're sitting up for tonight?
You can't see the majority of this present.
That's good.
Since Vanessa's not here to speak for herself. I just like it, anybody that's here, she has been very involved trying to get things going with the park board that I've, been involved with and had a couple opportunities to work with her on that. She helped with getting Alderman in the parade last year at Christmas, and we also sponsored a tree. Also, she just was the rally behind, the sponsorship of a kid's swim at the pool that the aldermen have supported and mayor. And so just, since Vanessa's not here, and by the way, she's a great baker. She might be able to raise some funds for the park board with some bake sales. But just, I mean, in case anyone didn't know, that her involvement in the park board has, I mean, she's been involved, trying to get some traction and stuff, so.
I'm also led the way there's been a similar relationship in the past with somebody said spouse of up for maybe. There's been some community concern expressed that it may somehow affect that relationship.
I'm gonna have to correct myself. You're gonna have to postpone this appointment. So on the park board, it does require a majority of those, all members of the board.
Well, then can we get a motion to table?
And motion that we table this until we have more alternates.
Second. Can we have a first and a second? Alderman Lancaster,
Yes.
so Alderman Billiard? Yes. And Alderman Swallow?
Yes.
Thank you.
And let me state for the record, because we talked about it in other places, that we are always looking for people that want to serve on the board. All of our boards. And it's very difficult to find people that want to volunteer their time and their effort. So if anybody knows residents that would like to serve on our board and volunteer their time and their effort, they can always contact anybody here. And if we don't currently have a vacancy, we would be more than happy to make a waiting list, because we often experience vacancies at most inopportune times. So pass the word to everyone you know that we would love to have more volunteers. All right, item number 8, recommendation to transition our online website to Aptitude to improve branding and messaging. Yes.
So this one, Aptigee is kind of the cheapest solution that we've run into. It also comes with an accompanying app that allows citizens to access our website and our services and our information from their cell phone. Currently, I think anybody who's familiar with our website, it's not the best look for the city. And I think as we rebrand, that's something that I feel is important at the moment to consider providing something that's cohesive, functional, and usable, supports our efforts to get information out. Aptigee seemed to be the one that did all of it without costing us a small fortune. The other big contender was a platform called Civic Plus, which can do everything except make me a cup of tea in the morning, but it came with a pretty stiff bill. The company Aptigee is a smaller company, kind of more nimble. And I think when Mike and I reviewed it together, it had a more cohesive look to it. It was more interesting. It didn't look like all the other websites out there or out to Civic Plus, and gave us the ability, which I think is something unique, to make a post to our city website, and we'll also go out to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So it can kind of serve as a semi-public information officer role in that Public Works could post some pictures and they run through for approval through the system, and then I can review them and make sure the message is on point and let it push out. It gives us a more central information source, single information source, I should say, instead of relying on Facebook. I did some kind of hunting around, and numbers look like, when you break it down, lots of people have Facebook, but not everybody. And then of those, not everybody does civic work on there or necessarily relies on it for their news. So it came down to about 38% of people potentially being willing to use Facebook to see what's going on in the city, which leaves quite a lot of people that don't get the word. I will be one, my wife will be another, and we like to think we're still kind of young. So it's not necessarily a young versus old thing. If we're trying to get word out, if we want to let people know there's an event going on, Facebook just isn't the way, in my humble opinion. Another thing this allowed was that live feed, so we can put that news out, we can share, things that are going on, good or bad. We can have pictures, we can have more information that looks neater and tidier and more interesting to people who might like to be future stakeholders. So the cost is a little higher. I mean, as they always do, the setup is kind of where they bite you a little bit. But ongoing, it was considerably cheaper than the other options we explored, particularly the benchmark website. It will also more easily permit other additions that we might want to add. They have customer service that you can reach out to them within a couple of minutes. They've got a solution and they can help you get things done. Having worked with Civic Plus before, usually there's a fee attached to that. It can kind of take a little while to get back to you too, and oftentimes I just say this is just how it works. So I didn't find that to be as user friendly, just in my experience. And if you don't use it the right way, it does start to look a little awful. But I'm hoping that with this, we provide that clearer channel. We have some other options. We have a website that can allow permits to be paid and bills to be paid. Running on your phone with notifications and things like that, we can start rebranding and taking ownership, and then hopefully in the future add that agenda piece that we're seeing some niggles here and there because it is a very human process and subject to human foibles and technological foibles. That's another piece that I'd like to talk to you about in the future meeting, just getting our agenda set a little bit more modernized and cohesive as well.
And you touched a little bit on the one question I had, is the Apogee run our payment system?
No, so our payment system will remain separate,
Okay.
but when they develop the website, they will develop it to connect with that.
Okay.
So, you go into your app and you say, I want to pay my bill, and it'll take you out there. So
It's not, either doesn't have to be two separate.
No, it'll look like it's in the website, even though it is technically separate.
Perfect.
One thing to also bear in mind, I believe that, just looking at my projections for budget, we'll probably have some savings paid for it, but Carolyn has expressed concerns that most likely we'll need a budget amendment, towards the end of the year to cover them, so I remember that about right.
Building's gonna cover it, don't worry.
Mike's gone. My other perspective, just for a personal note, I think we're pushing now to kind of catch up time. I think having a well-branded website just makes it look more serious on playing the field. Future stakeholders most likely going to look at the website as well. They're going to call, visit. If they don't like what they see and we don't look like we know what we're doing, they probably won't have a call. So if we at least start down that track now, it just gives us a little bit of extra time ahead in the game as we work on other things to try and get us out of there and get us seen.
So this does update the website
Yeah.
as well,
Yes,
because,
all of it will go away and we'll have a whole new setup that they will help create.
I know tonight I was running behind, and since I played hooky for 2 meetings, I was like, is it at 6 o'clock? I'm sitting in the bank line for work and I can't find on the website where it tells me what time the meeting is tonight. So,
There will be an official calendar on there. That would be something you could look at and you could have found it.
We have an actual calendar that has our meetings.
Yeah, this is another one of those things, we're having one information source out there that people can rely on and that actually works. They said it would take about 6 to 8 weeks to get it to where it's ready for prime time, and on the 10th week it would roll out.
What are your thoughts, Mayor?
I like it.
You are still allowed to have an opinion over there.
I don't want to unduly influence anybody, but I think that our webpage is seriously lacking. And we need to do something that's much more efficient and modern, because the piggyback what Wes said, and I know from being in business that first thing people look at your website. So I think this will not only be fashionable, it will also be functional.
Well, and the fact that there's an app,
That stood out to me too. That's
because we all, every one of us is sitting here with our phones handy. Everything runs on apps these
And
days.
this has the public works and the projects tab and everything.
we can add whatever we
Yeah,
like.
that was
Instead of
the features I love about it, so that if somebody, lives on New Belleville and wants to see what projects going on, it's gonna be fantastic. They just hit that projects tab, shows what's going on, shows where things are, pictures. It'll be efficient.
It will keep a lot of the complaints, and
A lot of things that we hear about, it should mitigate a lot of that.
they'll be able to go to one central location and see all of the things that you have all the questions about.
I like it.
Yeah,
I do too.
I do.
More important,
And
that's my liking.
I
Oh,
No pressure there, Mike, right?
no pressure at all.
mean, and on that note, I think I would say that I'd make a motion to move forward with this.
I would second that motion, and if you need some help with implementation, let me know.
Okay.
That's-
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Lancaster,
Yes,
Alderman King,
Yes.
Alderman Villiers. Yes. And Alderman Swalba.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item number 9, Code of Ethics to establish a procedure to dispose of potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain officials. And for a first reading, just so you guys, just as a reminder, Nate educated us not too long ago that on first reading, we do not need motions, so keep that in mind. You're continuing our education process. Okay. Yes, I'd like me to add that this is just an annual update from the state that's required by law. So it's not that this is in response to anything that's been discussed by social media or the public writ large. So just a statutory requirement. Feel free. Yeah, first reading. Tax statute, make sure we need to read tax statute.
No, absolutely.
It's an ordinance of the city of Willits, Green County, Missouri, to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain officials.
Now, if you didn't have that available, or somebody can request your people.
Is it the same price? All right, item number 10, ordinance providing for the general levy and imposition of annual tax for general municipal purposes for the year 2024 and for the imposition of annual tax in parks. This is the first reading, same scenario as the last.
As a note on this one, the public hearing will be scheduled for the next board meeting, August 26th. You'll see on section 2 that there's a blank. Greene County has not yet provided a percentage that we need to hold a blank. I think she said it will be here by the end of today. Still nothing. Ideally, it'll be here well in time for the second read and the hearing. We have to have everything kind of wrapped up by the end of the month to get it to clerk to certify. So I'm sure if she has an interest in looking to us as quickly as she can.
Okay, an ordinance providing for the general levy and imposition of annual tax for general municipal purposes for the year 2024 and for imposition of annual tax for parks.
All right, item number 11, ordinance to amend section 115.060 of the Code of Ordinances to establish how compensation will be set for all elected officials, appointed officers, and employees. First reading. You have anything on that one?
Yeah, this was in response to your request to redirect your mayor's stipend to parks. This kind of sets it not in a forever status. It sets it to where the budget, which currently is used to set employee salaries anyway. It allows us to make that shuffle there and, you can then direct through the budget process what we might use that for in future, or just for that 1 year. It doesn't bind future boards to keeping the stipend away from the mayor if you choose to go back that route. We also did draft some language up as far as if you wanted a sunset clause in there, but I don't think it will be necessary this way since the budget instrument will set the stipend.
An ordinance to amend section 115.060 of the Code of Ordinances to establish how compensation will be set for all elected officials, appointed officers, and employees.
All right, item number 12, ordinance recommending consideration of updating section 130.040 as a city code to enhance our purchasing and contracting procedure. Second reading. Question?
So this one we did our first read last time, and I'll just kind of summarize. I think the record's out there, but what I want to highlight at least is that what this will not do is it will not allow the city to spend money it doesn't have. It would not allow the city to exceed a budget authority without explicit approval of the board, which in this policy, we actually changed it to require an amendment before we make the spend that exceeds the authority, not after. It will also allow for budgetary and savings within the existing authority because we can kind of shuffle as we should be doing, within that authority. And maybe another priority came along, like a pothole fell in the road and people are crashing into it. We can say, well, let's not do the park roof. Let's go ahead and figure, well, park is bad. Let's not do the police department roof and fill the pothole instead, because we can make those on the fly adjustments within our authority. Ultimately, the limits are boosted on the administrative side. It's really just to reflect the city's ability to respond to issues in a more proactive and nimble manner. We're still going to be required to get quotes within certain ranges. We're still going to be required to get bids within certain ranges, and we're still going to be required to get board approval before we spend money that we're not explicitly authorized to do. Or one other benefit, I think it also sets an earlier check-in date for December for budget amendment considerations instead of just saying December. That way we have plenty of time to make shuffles if we need to before the year ends.
Joyce, anything?
I'm good with
Second reading. I'm gonna look handy.
An ordinance repealing and replacing section 130.040 of the city code.
Motion to approve the open transfer.
Second. Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Lancaster,
yes.
Alderman King,
Yes.
Alderman Villiers. Yes. And Alderman Slaughter. Thank you.
All right, item number 13, ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with B&B Concrete to complete the sidewalks at the 18M Square. Be the second reading.
One thing I wanted to note on this one, there was a question last time about whether the contractor might reduce the quotes since they only have to mobilize once. Since it's the same contractor that's doing the Hunt Road, it's a redundant thing. There's no need to change that. They're already mobilized and they don't actually charge us a fee to come out here anymore.
Can you tell what's the order's gonna be as far as, are they gonna deal with ATM or can they get the hot road quicker?
Whatever you
I
want,
think that's up to you.
it's up to you.
Go tomorrow, the way 100's good or?
Well, if you want Hunt, you'll have to get pushed to your next approval to pay him.
No, we got it on this one, Shane.
What's that?
We got it on this one for
Oh,
you.
you did?
Yeah, it's on this one.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, we would, we'd love to see a hot road done ASAP. Have you guys worked it out? Behind closed doors as part of the mechanisms, just because school's starting, soon, next weekend. That's the area the kids use for, school bus stop. Be great if we could get that sidewalk put there, so our friends, they don't stand in the mud. Perfect, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else? Second.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with B&B Concrete Solutions for proposed sidewalks in the APM commercial development.
Motion to approve the working session.
We have a first and a second. Alderman Lancaster,
Yes.
Alderman King.
Yeah.
Alderman Villiers. Yes. And Alderman Swatash.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, item number 14, resolution supporting the installation of the underpass at the junction of Highway 80 and Highway 160.
So what this is just a resolution of support from the Board of Aldermen. What we're doing is we're following our master plan or comprehensive plan and everything like that. We came across a couple of bottlenecks in that, one of those being this corner of AB and 160. We have the elementary school and everything right there with a stoplight, not real good access for the kids to get across 160. What we're proposing, the reason for the resolution is we have put in OTO for some grant funding for engineering. And what that does is that allows us, once funds come available, to have a project ready, project. So engineering's done on it, it's in our folder when funds come ready. We have extra funds, we get, grant funds from OTO and we have 20%, we can put this in. The three parts that, we were concerned about, obviously the safety. Safety of all the pedestrians, everything like that, with 160 and AB's fast moving road. If we just had a no flow intersection, an underpass where they could just go and they could cross, it's great. Also, the interconnectivity between our downtown or other residents are severely cut off by the 160. So by putting an underpass in, it allows free flow of people, not making the 160 as much of a barrier. And then we're just following the conceptual plan that was approved by the Board of Aldermen before in 2018. Our comprehensive plan notes that intersection as part of a trail point. We'd like to emphasize that, get the infrastructure in and build out from there. So what this is, just a resolution of support saying we understand that we're putting this into engineering. When funds come available, this is something we would support in the future on those 3 points.
Discussion on this.
Questions?
I concur.
If you've ever had kids who cross from one side of 160 to the other, it,
Get scared, especially with the apartments right there on the
Yeah.
south side. It's dangerous.
We're hoping this is a kind of first step of bringing that comprehensive plan alive. We found a comprehensive plan and a 2040 vision. Has some explicit things that the community at that time expressed the need for, and they appear to still be pretty relevant. So we're trying to bring something to life with this.
it's a great thing.
Better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just makes a motion.
Yeah, just motion. It doesn't, with the resolution.
Can I make a motion that we support this resolution for the underpass of AB and 160?
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Alderman Lancaster,
Yes.
Alderman Keen,
Yes.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
and Alderman Botta.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, item number 15, sanitary sewer project status.
Along the 94th state, lift station, Force Main. They're continuing to make progress on the plan and profile for the design of the pipeline installation. And we received our first reimbursement from EPA for the grant. And then tune of $227,000. With it being 80% of expenditures of roughly 284,000. So we think the following requests will go much easier this time. We have quite a disconnect with the funding people out of Washington, but we got that all straightened. Government at its best.
Easy to send them money, not easy to get money back.
Yeah. On the meadows, we have met with all the applicable landowners for easement acquisition. Have an agreement with principal, in principle with all of them. No one's on the brakes on. Good. Dr. Martin is preparing the easement documents. Once we get the documents, we'll then try to wrap up negotiations for compensation. Bring out the board for approval and get the easements recorded. Dr. Martin will submit engineering plans to Department of Natural Resources for review. First step. Dr. Martin will submit plans to Springfield Airport Authority for their comments. Now, why the airport authority? We're going to be taking the tail end of this gravity line on the airport property to connect to Springfield's airport lift station. We will have to seek a license agreement with the airport authority to cover that. We haven't drafted anything yet because we don't know what it's going to look like. With the bureaucratic formality. So that's where we very well stand right now on the sewer projects that are moving forward.
Thank you. Must have been doing some good negotiating.
Pardon?
You must have been doing some good negotiating.
Well, we don't know for sure until everybody signs it online.
All right, well, we appreciate it. All right, item number 16, city administrator remarks.
Yes, there was a follow-up, I did email the board, regarding the 1714 Tyler expense that was brought up at the last meeting. But I just wanted to kind of get the word out. Not everybody, of course, saw the email that might have heard about it in the video. So, the 1740 was regarding the project setup fees. There's, there's slightly differing fees as they go along based on how much time they put in. But the ongoing monthly fee, which is billed quarterly, is $44 a month, billed at $14.52 a quarter, and that equates to $58.08 per year recurring fees for the time clock software. Just to help you guys separate those out as you see them coming up in the future. Already covered that one. Performance evaluations, something that I've noticed as I'm digging through. Looks like the annual raises are just tied to a step increase for employees. So with the board's consideration in the future, I would like to consider tying this to performance to ensure that high performers are rewarded appropriately. Low performers perhaps rewarded less appropriately, maybe with other activities instead of a raise. And then, everybody else kind of hangs out there in the middle. And usually with an appropriately set up system, it kind of comes out about the same. Most people are pretty standard, but your high performance, you want to make sure they're recognized and feel appreciated. So I do think that's something that we need to consider. Prior methods I've done in the past typically have two evaluations throughout the year, one at the midpoint, one at the end of the year, so that people have a chance to hear how they're doing and a chance to do better. 5-step scoring system, ranging from unsatisfactory to role model. With most people being right in the middle of satisfactory, you know, they come to work, they do what we expect, and they go home, and life is good. And then, you know, we would establish a raise maximum that essentially the employee has to earn to get. Otherwise, they would be satisfactory and just get what they were gonna get anyway. So I'll be working on something like that. I work in the state of Arkansas to help, DHS kind of implement a system to track the measurements, and then I've implemented somewhere in Kansas, so I don't think it would be too tricky to do here. And then, good news, Jackson Street, the bids are due this week, so we're still on track to hopefully see some asphalt go down before the end of the year. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. I think they have until Friday, bids out, so then we'll have something to start considering. And I think my notes are very jumbled today. I've been typing things that I thought of. Yeah, that's it, except for a closed session.
Thank you. All right, item, number 17, enter new business. Okay. Item 18,
Mayor, real quick, on the previous agenda, the planning commission did have, the planning, department did have some changes to the M1, C2, R1 and variance, ordinances that I did not have an ordinance form before, but you so graciously, went over for me. Due to some noticing, some public hearing, confusion, we're gonna refer those back to planning commission for public hearing. Get those squared away according to ordinance before returning them back to the board.
good idea.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anything else? All right. 19, we are to have motion to recess open session.
Make a motion to recess open session.
Second.
All right. For those of you that would like to stay here, you can. We're going to, if you want to stay here, we're gonna move to closed session. Make a motion for that in a second. All right. And, go behind closed doors. I'll let everybody know that you're welcome to stay in this room if you would like to. And number 20, open closed session pursuant to RSMO section 610.021, number 1, for legal, RSMO section 610.021, 3 personnel. Yeah. We might need motions to move into those sessions.
I'll make a motion that we. Have to wait. It's
I think we go ahead and make the motion and
Okay,
once it's,
make the motion that we open the closed session pursuant to RSMO sections 10.021, section 1 legal, RSMO section 610.021, number 3 personnel.
okay. And once we get a second, see what things look like. Looks like you're making some serious.
Almost. That direction.
Yeah, that's the same page. Let's go ahead and take the vote. Right.
Okay, Alderman Lancaster,
Yes.
Alderman King,
Yes.
Alderman Billiard,
Yes.
and Alderman Swanton.
Yeah. All right.
The retreat meeting.
I don't know, we did.
Second.
What prompted? Inside, you don't mean.
Alderman Lancaster?
Yes.
Alderman Keating?
Yes.
Alderman Deloyer? Yes. Alderman Slaughter?
Yeah. Okay, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. No, Casey, I got
Let me vote on